Hi, I'm Bill Church, Executive Editor of the Herald-Tribune, and welcome Carrie Seidman for this installment of Coming Sunday as we look at the Herald-Tribune and what's coming up, in this case, for the November 15th edition of the newspaper. We have just a compelling special report called The S Word. Carrie, tell us a little bit about the project and what we can expect.
Okay, well, the S Word, and the S stands for schizophrenia, is a project that I've been working on for some time and evolved out of my own experience with my son's mental illness issues. So it's a topic that's very close to my heart, and obviously over the past however many years, every time that there's been something in the news about someone who is mentally ill and untreated who's committed a really violent, terrible act, it's very, very painful for the families of those who have children with mental illness who are trying very hard to lead stable lives. And so I felt very compelled to write something from a different angle than what you normally would find in the newspaper, i.e. not from an act that someone has committed and then moving backwards, but rather from inside out, from talking to the people who suffer from this illness and the families who deal with its repercussions.
Yeah, you talk about both taking the inside-out approach, and as readers look at the section, they'll realize that you've also taken different perspectives in trying to tell this story. What were some of the challenges, because this story is deeply personal for you?
Well, there are two sections to the project. One is my own personal story with my son, which probably actually was less difficult for me. The journey with him has been very difficult, but talking about it for me is not a difficult thing. The other section of the project is with an adult who was diagnosed with schizophrenia in his 20s, and the whole evolution of how that played out. That was much more challenging in that because schizophrenia is such a loaded word, and that's why we called it the S word, very, very few people who have the illness are willing to say publicly that they have the illness. And in fact, Patrick O'Keefe, the gentleman that we profile, was my third subject. I had two prior people who had agreed to do the story and who backed out, deciding they didn't want their names and photographs used. And in fact, Patrick almost backed out twice during the course of about 6 months that we were working on this. And I am very proud of him, and he gets all the credit for being willing to put a face on this illness.
Now, the section includes resources, but there's also another opportunity for our readers to know more about the story and become actually part of it in some ways. Tell us a little bit about the community forum that's going to be taking place.
Yeah, we're calling it a community conversation. It's going to be at 5:30 on November 17th, 2 days after the story publishes, here at the Herald-Tribune. We will have the subjects of the stories will be there. The artist who did some illustrations for us, who also has schizophrenia, will be there. And we really want this to be an opportunity to get community members talking about how do we approach this subject differently. Mental illness is tied in with so many other issues in our community, you know, foremost among them homelessness. And so it's just really an opportunity to have people come and meet the people in the stories and just discuss, you know, where we can go from here to make the situation better.
I hope you'll spend some time with us on Sunday. You can also go to schizophrenia.heraldtribune.com. We'll have the redirect as part of this video so you can get it, and of course a section that will be worth your time. Carrie, thank you so much, and thank you for being part of our audience.